Alright, welcome to part 4 of the Chapter 1 retake review. We have already talked about how to identify and label figures. We've talked about setting up and solving segment equations. We've talked about calculating midpoint and distance, and now we are going to talk about setting up and solving the angle equations. So make sure you take good notes on this, as you will need to show them and turn them into your teacher. So let's take a look at our first problem. So given that angle NRQ equals 66, solve for x, then find angle NRP. So remember, this is angle addition. Just like segment addition, we have two angles that equal a third angle, so we have to put our parts together. So we know that one part is 8x plus 7, another part is 4x minus 1, and our whole angle is given right here with 66. Now we combine our like terms, so we get 12x, combine our 7 and negative 1, so we get plus 6 equals 66. Solve our equation, 12x equals 60, divide by 12, x equals 5. Now the actual question did ask us to find x, but we also need to find our angle NRP. So in order to do that, we need to find out NRP. So we need to plug it into the equation 8x plus 7. So what we do is we substitute in our 5 for our x. So 8 times 5 plus 7. So we'll get 40 plus 7, which is 47. And we don't want to forget to label that, so we'll label it angle NRP equals 47. So now that we've done the angle addition, I want you guys to remember segment addition and how closely these ones are aligned. So if we look at these two problems, this was number 6 from video number 2, and then the problem that we just did, if you look at it, they are almost set up exactly the same. And by almost, I mean they are set up exactly the same. We take our two parts for our angle addition equal the whole. For our segment addition, our two parts added to each other equal the whole. Then all we have to do is solve the equation and then plug it in for the part that we need to find. For this one, we needed to find NRP, so we plugged it into 8x plus 7. For this part, we needed to find segment AB, so we plugged it in for 8x minus 5. So, as you can see, if you want to pause and look at it, these are identically done. They're just using, the difference is one's using angles and one's using line segments. All right, now the next thing we need to talk about is angle bisectors. So in the diagram, BD bisects angle ABCD, or ABC. Find the measure of ABD and the measure of DBC. So just like when we did midpoint, all we have to do is take our two angles and we set them equal to each other. Whoops, not 14x, 4x minus 12. I don't really need those parentheses, but now that we set those equal to each other, because when it's a bisector, we know that these angles are equal, we go ahead and we solve. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So we get 15 equals 3x minus 12. Add 12 to both sides. So then we get 27 equals 3x. Divide by 3. And we get x equals 9. Now, the actual problem isn't asking us to find x. It's actually having us find ABD and DBC. So we need to go ahead and plug those back in to find those. ABD is this part right here. So we know ABD is x plus 15 for the measure of angle ABD equals x plus 15. So we take our x, which is 9, we plug it in, and we get 24. So the measure of angle ABD is 24. Now if ABD is 24, this part is 24, then since it's a bisector, we know that this is also 24. So we also know the measure of angle DBC is equal to 24. We don't even need to do any more math with that part. Now, just like the angle addition and segment addition, the angle bisector is very similar to the midpoint when we're solving for the midpoints of lines. If you look at those two equations set up to find the midpoint and to find the angle bisector, they are set up exactly the same way. We take our two pieces. For the angle bisector, we take our two angles. For the segment bisector or segment midpoint, we take our two segments and we equal them and solve for x. And then we have to find the part that they're actually asking us to find. Now we have one more to talk about. With this, it looks a little deceiving. It looks like we're only given two pieces of information. Looks like we're only given that 10x plus 1 and 9x minus 11 are our angles. Up there, it doesn't say anything about bisectors. It also doesn't have the congruent angle picture in there. So it looks like we don't have enough information. But we know how many degrees a straight line is. A straight line is 180 degrees. So we know that the two angles added together equal 180 degrees. So 10x plus 1 plus 9x minus 11 is going to equal 180 degrees. So now we have to do a solve for x. So we combine our like terms, 19x, combine this. 1 minus 11 is negative 10, equals 180. Add 10 to both sides. We'll get 19x equals 190. Divide by 19. X equals 10. Now that found us our x, but we needed to find the angle ADB. So we need to look up here where ADB, and that shouldn't actually be ADB. That should be ABD. So we need to find ABD, which we can go here. ABD is going to be 10x plus 1. So the measure of angle ABD is going to equal 10 times 10 plus 1, which 10 times 10 is 100 plus 1. So the measure of angle ABD equals 101 degrees. Make sure we find what we're supposed to and make sure we don't have typos so you guys can find the actual things. Alright, that is the end of this video. If you guys didn't get anything, make sure you re-watch those pieces, pause where you need to. We are done with setting up and solving angle equations. The final video, the next video, will be defining and sketching geometric terms. Again, make sure you take good notes on that piece and make sure you watch for the end of that. It will have the review that you need to do and turn in to your teacher to retake the test.